Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I will be ranking my book totes. I have really been into tote bags recently. I love totes, I love big bags. I fill them up, I find a lot of use for them. I use them for work. Even at home during this quarantine, I have been using my tote bags, just transitioning from, my office. If I want to change the scenery, I'll go sit outside or something. So yeah, I still use my bags. They're also great for travel. Today I will be ranking my book totes. And I define a book tote as a structured open tote bag. Now, a book tote generally, at least the silhouette, is very similar across the different brands. Probably the most popular of all the luxury designers is the Dior book tote, which I have in both sizes. So this is the large navy oblique Dior book tote, and then I have the small Tote book tote here. I also have the Louis Vuitton On The Go, and then most recently I got the YSL Rive Gauche tote. So I just wanted to go over the pros and cons of each one and just kind of rank them. And this is, again, my personal preference. I do plan on doing a separate review for just the YSL Rive Gauche tote. I haven't had it that long, so I just wanted to kind of use it some more before I do its own review. This is the YSL Rive Gauche tote. I got it in black, and I'll link my reveal video where I kind of unboxed this, my Mother's Day quarantine haul. I got this for a great price from Saks at 25% off. The pros for this, I would say, are it's very lightweight and it has somewhat of a closure. This snaps closed at the top in the middle, so if it's not super full, it does close, and it's a decent closure. It kind of peeks open at the sides. And then because it closes, it's kind of easier to wear over the shoulder. This is also really comfortable, I would say. So the shoulder strap, even though it just has kind of top handles, these top handles are similar to the Dior book totes in that it's kind of long top handles, so you can still wear this over your shoulder. It's very plain on the back, and the inside does have one zip pocket in here. This Samorga organizer is made specifically for the Rive Gauche tote, so it just makes it a lot more practical to use because now you have this bottle holder, and then it has some interior slip pockets here on both sides, and I got it in white so that so it's easier for me to see the interior. Probably the biggest con for this is the material. It's like a magnet for lint, and you can even see here, it's like there's all this lint. Maybe when I Scotch guard it, it'll have a little bit of a coating so it won't stick as much. So I would say that's probably the only con. The other pro is, of these bags, this is the least expensive. It's priced at $11.50, but I got it for 25% off at Saks. If you catch it at a good time, you can get a great deal on these. So I got it for about $8.60. So of the 4 book totes I have, this is the least expensive, and it's the only one under $1,000. And then maybe depending on what your preference is, for me, I like that this is a lot more casual. I would say these other book totes, as dressy as a book tote would be considered, these are probably the dressier ones just because of the materials and the design. This is very casual, so this would go with just a very casual outfit. So that's the Rive Gauche tote. This is my Louis Vuitton On The Go tote in the GM size. I got this even before the MM was released. This is available in the smaller MM size, but for me personally, I don't like the MM size because the shoulder straps on that one are shorter. It has a shorter shoulder strap drop. So for me, it wouldn't be comfortable, and it would kind of defeat the purpose of having shoulder straps on this, I think. That's just me personally. This is probably my most used. Probably because I had it the longest, but also just in terms of the functionality of this. This is the only one with both top handles and a long shoulder strap. It also has a lining inside. This also has a hook closure at the top in the middle. And I have done review videos comparing the Louis Vuitton On The Go to the large Dior book tote. So I'll link that below if you want to check it out. But yeah, this definitely is my most used just because this shoulder strap makes it so much more practical for me, especially for work. This is the Samorga organizer for this tote also. And again, the Samorga organizer was made specifically for this On The Go tote, and I got it in red to match the lining. Probably the biggest con is this is pretty pricey for a book tote, and it's also really heavy. Of all my book totes, this is the heaviest, probably because it has that extra lining, and then in general the canvas is pretty heavy. It has some hardware here Yeah, I don't know, maybe the lining, it just everything in its totality makes it really heavy to carry. So once it's loaded up for work, it's really heavy. This does fit a laptop, but when I do use this for work, I actually don't put a laptop in here because partially I don't want to damage it, but also it just makes it so heavy. It makes it so heavy for me. I do have the organizer in here, but even on its own, it has a zip pocket here, and then it has 2 slip pockets underneath the zip pocket. So, you know, you don't need an organizer. I find it very helpful. But of all the book totes I have, this has the most organization in terms of the 3 pockets. One of the other cons, other than it being really heavy, is it has this kind of like I don't know if it's a warping, but sometimes maybe it's because it has an extra lining. It has this like weird, see how you can see, and you can see it when you in the light, because you can see that it casts a shadow, but it has this weird like kind of warping or buckling. So this does, you know, this side's okay, and this side is okay. It's pretty smooth, maybe over there. It's most obvious in the front. It's right here and here. When I hold it up, it's not as obvious maybe, but yeah, see, you can see it kind of bows out a little bit. Some people had bags like this. I know Yoda Style she got the On The Go, I think in the MM size, and she returned it also because hers was really bad with this. I don't know what it is, but just on its face, when you see it, you know, maybe you won't notice it from far away or if you're looking at it quickly. But if you're buying this bag, you know, you want it to look perfect, especially for the price point. And it's not smooth. It's just not a smooth, it just is almost warped. And so I don't know if that's a defect. I kept mine because it's not as bad, but this isn't caused by there is an organizer inside, but the organizer comes up to here. This is just something that it did already on its own. So yeah, that's a big con, I think, for some people, to the point that they returned it. And finally, we come to the Dior book tote. This is the small book tote in the navy Tote pattern, which is so beautiful. I also have the navy oblique in the large size. That was my first one. Yeah, these are so beautiful. These are so pretty. I love this Tote design. I love the navy oblique design. So in terms of just the style, just very superficially the way it looks, I just find this to be the most beautiful. This is definitely hands down the most beautiful bag in my collection. So just aesthetically, this is my favorite bag for sure. The Tote pattern. The con for sure, for me personally, is the price point. And the price in terms of value. Some people don't think the book tote is priced at what it should be in terms of, you know, in terms of the material used. It's not, there isn't any leather on this bag except for the maiden stamp, except for the tag inside. This is all canvas. Now it is a very beautiful, you know, embroidered canvas. If you look up close, you can see that really pretty attention to detail. But it's just canvas, and so a lot of people can't justify spending this much on the book tote. That is definitely the biggest drawback for sure, is the price of the book tote. These aren't the most comfortable to wear over the shoulder. The top handles, it's strictly a top handle bag. You can fit it over the shoulder, and I will link my video below where I compare the small book tote to the large book tote. They can be worn over the shoulder depending on your size and maybe what you're wearing. If you're wearing a really bulky coat or something, you probably can't fit this over your shoulder. So it's strictly a top handle carry, or maybe like a crook of the arm type bag. There also is no closure to this at all. Whereas the On The Go had a hook closure, and then the YSL Rive Gauche tote had a snap. This is completely open at the top, both sizes. I have a Samorga organizer inside, and I have it for both the small and the large. And what's great about the Samorga book tote organizer is it's specifically made for the book tote, and it has this zipper to close it all the way at the top. The zipper comes out here, it extends out, so it opens up really wide. So it's attached with Velcro, so if you don't want a totally closed zip top, you can just completely remove the zipper, and then it's just open. This is the smallest of my book totes that I have on display here. The larger book tote is the biggest of these 4 that I have. Actually, let's see. So again, I will do a separate review comparing the two, but the YSL tote is actually a little wider, and it's about the same height. Maybe the book tote is slightly taller. So these two are probably comparable. Dior book tote is about the same size as the Rive Gauche tote. This is probably better for every day. This also does fit, and I showed this in my video when I compared the two. This does fit a laptop, so even though it's the small book tote, it still fits a MacBook Air. But despite its flaws and despite it lacking a longer shoulder strap, I would say that the Dior book tote in this small navy Tote is still my favorite of all my book totes. The Louis Vuitton On The Go is probably my most used, just because it's more practical for me, you know, in terms of work and what I carry and just how to carry it and being hands-free when I do carry it. But the heart wants what it wants, and I love I love this style. I love the Tote pattern. So definitely check out my review videos for each of these bags. I've already posted my videos comparing the small and large book tote, also comparing it with the Louis Vuitton On The Go GM. And then I will have the YSL Rive Gauche tote forthcoming, comparing the sizes, and I also do mod shots with all those videos. So it depends on how you rank these, you know, is it your favorite or is it just your most used? Because if it's my favorite, then that would be this for sure. But if it's my most used, you know, if you're in the market for a book tote and you just want one and you want to be able to use it and you want your hands free and you want to be able to organize your stuff, I probably would recommend the Louis Vuitton. And maybe the medium size of this. But I do recommend trying it on and seeing if the shoulder straps are comfortable, because for some people it wasn't, which would defeat the whole purpose. That is my ranking of my book totes. I would say maybe in last place is the YSL Rive Gauche tote, only because it's my newest bag and I haven't worn it that much. And then it's more like a functional, casual style bag. Number 3 would probably be my navy oblique Dior book tote in the large size. Because it is also very functional but very pretty. Number 2 would be my LV On The Go GM, just because it's so practical and I do get a lot of use out of it. But my favorite book tote is definitely the Christian Dior Tote in the small size. And then also, real quick, there's another book tote style that I really have been eyeing. Maybe it's more of a contemporary brand, but it's the Marc Jacobs Traveler tote. It is so cute. It's just so cute. It's so much more practical. And even though it has the structure and the shape of a, you know, typical book tote, it has a zipper at the top, and it's just very casual. So yeah, I was considering that. Let me know what your thoughts are of that. It comes in 2 sizes. I was looking at the larger size because I just like big totes, but then I saw the smaller size, and the smaller has a shoulder strap that in the picture, the model uses it as a crossbody also, and it comes in this really pretty blue. I was thinking of, if I got it, I would get the large in beige to kind of round out my collection of colors. But then I was like, oh, I really like that small in the blue color. I don't know. Looking at my collection, I probably don't need another blue themed tote, especially because I have this. So yeah, maybe I'm answering my own questions, but let me know what you think of that style. I hope you enjoyed this video ranking my book totes. Stay tuned. I plan to post a review of the YSL Rive Gauche tote, which is the newest tote in my collection, but this is my favorite. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you have any questions, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.